we have one more storyteller before intermission, and before I make the introduction, I want to say that I think this is maybe the first time we've had a second generation family outspoken storyteller. Both the storytellers' dads are regular outspoken attendees and alumni. So as they say in Jewish tradition, Lador Vador. So we're kind of handing down from generation to generation. Max Kaiser Lippitz is the assistant chef of a Latvian gastropub, the third placer in a South-Southeastern Conference of the 2017 International Croquet Championship, the junior senator of Oklahoma, a father of 3 beautiful children and 1 funny one, the solver of Kramer's Paradox, one of the most complicated mathematical problems, a background actor in The Lion King 2, which I thought was a cartoon, and Angela Merkel's gay best friend, but just kidding. But he is a senior at the University of Chicago studying econ and stats, a hot sauce lover, a pianist, and an airport detainee. Please welcome our stage Max.
Hey everybody. So I grew up a couple blocks away from here with my 2 dads, as Art mentioned, and my brother. And it was an interesting experience. I think at the beginning I didn't really notice that anything was different, or that was my life, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then when I came to school, some of my peers started asking questions. All had different opinions about the situation. There was one group with, that had strict moms, and they were super jealous of me. They, they thought that having dad was awesome, that I just ate candy whenever I wanted and just partied, and it was awesome. And then there was another group of kids that they were curious. They asked questions, are you adopted? How is that possible? Just a bunch of questions. And then there was a third group, just a minority, a very small minority, but they were not the greatest about it. They kind of made fun of me and made me feel a little weird and different. But yeah, anyways, in general, I didn't really appreciate it that much growing up until the summer of 2015. So I had just performed in a piano concert in Prague, and one of my dads was accompanying me on the way back home, and we stopped in Frankfurt as a layover, and everything was going well. My dad and I switched boarding passes actually because he was in an earlier, or I was on an earlier boarding group, but he wanted to bring the baggage onto the plane so that I wouldn't have to carry it, which was, because I was 14 at the time, I was pretty little, so it was nice of him. So anyways, he's on the airplane, and I walk up to the front desk, I'm the last person, and I'm like, hey, danke, thank you. My passport and my boarding pass. And then he's like, what do you think you're doing, little boy? And I was like, going on an airplane. And then he's like, follow me right here. And I was like, okay. So I was pretty excited because I thought they were gonna either upgrade me, make me in a commercial for the airport, or maybe the flight was already full, so I gotta stay in a few days in Germany and just for free. And I was super excited, but definitely confused. So I follow him to this room, and then he starts asking me all these questions. He's like, what is your name? And I'm like, Max Max Lippitz, but if it's easier, you can call me like Maximilian, like that's easier in German. And then he's like, who are you traveling with? And I'm like, my dad, Jonathan Pizer. And he's like, So he calls in a bunch of his buddies, and they start like talking. They're like, Heidelberg, Schwanze, and I was like, that doesn't sound great, but also like German just kind of always sounds angry, so I'm sure that it was fine. And then I hear an announcement go through like the speaker intercom with like the whole airport, and it was like, Berliner Schnitzel, Bergen, de Max Pizer, Lippe, Jonathan Pizer, Danke, Willkommen. And I was like, and then in English it was like, if you know the whereabouts of Jonathan Pizer or Max Pizer Lippitz, please bring them here immediately. Thank you so much. And then I was like, wait, this definitely is not good. They keep asking me more questions. They're like, where are you from? I'm like, Chicago, America. And then and they're like, where do you go to school? And I'm like, Latin School Chicago is right across from BP Oil and Chipotle restaurant. And if you don't believe me, I have my summer reading book, which is Lord of the Flies, which is all sophomores in Latin read. And then he's like, that proves nothing. Everybody reads that book. Even in Germany. And I was like really scared because they keep, asking me all these questions. And I was 14 and I don't have any way to contact my dad because I actually lost my phone in a Polish salt mine the week before. Don't get me started. It was like the first of many phones that I've, or the sixth of, I don't know how many. It was but, so I didn't have any way of reaching my dad or anything. But they keep asking me questions. They're like, when is your birthday? And I'm like, July 27, 2000, like I'm 14. Then they asked me like, is it just your father you're traveling with, or is your mother with you too? And I was like, oh. A little like light bulb popped in my head, and I was like, huh. So I look at the ground. I wistfully summon some tears into my eyes and just start, and they're like, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's nothing. It's just, I don't have a mom. And through my tears, the fake tears, I could see their guilty faces, and they were like, oh, like, I'm so sorry, like, and then they just patted me on the back, and they eventually let me get on the plane. It was so bad that they just harassed someone who might have just recently lost their mother. As I walked onto the plane and into my upgraded economy premium seat, I reclined my 2 inches of extra room, sipped on my Sprite, which I pretended was like virgin champagne, and looked out the window and thought, like, this is the life. And that's the first time I really realized how lucky I was for having 2 dads.